The Experience Pros Radio Show, home of the original Fan Braggin' Fridays. Take just 20 seconds to become a business revolutionary by sharing a Fan Braggin' story of great customer service by using the hashtag FanBrag or calling the Fan Braggin' hotline at 855-FAN-BRAG, FANBRAG. Now back to Angel and Eric, the Experience Pros.
Hey, welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show. Angel Tussey and Eric Kramer hanging out with you today, empowering you to build your business. One of the ways to build business is to find great talent to work for you.
Exactly. So where do you find all this great, fabulous talent? I've often heard never hire somebody you can't fire. And so you want to probably expand beyond your immediate family members when it comes to hiring and growing your business.
I could fire one of my family members without any reservation whatsoever.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Even after you hired them?
I don't think I would hire her.
So there's an element there.
Right.
I think a lot of times, as we're looking to grow our business and, where do we find this great help? Because if not done right, hiring can feel like adult daycare, because you're herding and always trying to herd your team together. And really, you want to make sure that you've got a great a variety of assets and skill sets and personality types, so that we actually are bringing diverse personalities and diverse expertise to the workplace. But here's a list if you're not sure where to start. A couple places you can find great talent. Number one is referrals. Referrals. Right? Try looking at the people who are already around you. Who do they know that they could bring to the table? They say 48% of businesses saying that their quality hires come from their current employee referrals. So if you've hired one person, right, maybe that person is a great resource for bringing on the next great new hire.
Absolutely. Career sites and job boards. These guys are making a huge wave. They're advertising everywhere. Indeed.com, Monster.com, even LinkedIn, as a resource for job, postings. These are great places to check out who's available.
Right. Love them or loathe them. 43% of job seekers search for positions using those job boards. So it's where a lot of people there's great talent if you're willing to mine through it. Social networks, also a great resource. It's kind of right up there in that referral line. But 95% of companies surveyed said that they successfully hired using LinkedIn. Yeah. While 24% pointed to Facebook and 16% credited Twitter.
That's because Facebook and Twitter have you guys doing beer shots and stuff like that.
Well, but still, it's kind of it's a great way to forge relationships. If you've got passive candidates, yes. Great way to connect. And maybe that's it. More 95%, came from LinkedIn. And 24 and 16 from Facebook. It might have to do with, what you're posting.
What you're putting out on the Facebook and LinkedIn. Uh-huh. On Twitter, as opposed to what you put out on LinkedIn. Most people still view LinkedIn as that professional network, whereas Facebook and Twitter are much more casual. Attending events and networking on a regular basis, your talent pool could be dramatically expanded when you spend time in the right places. I've
heard you should always be hiring. Yeah. If you've got a company that is growing, then, it's easier to find talent when you've got a great network of people to mine it from, right? And so if you're always on the lookout for newer talent, then when you need it, you're not behind the eight ball. And so if you are networking on both sides of it, right? If you are, keep your options open on the networking side for who could be your next employer, your next venture partner, your next marketing partner, your next JV partner. Networking is always been in the professional realm a great way to find all sorts of relationships, including your next hire. But here's something too to really think about. If you're going to be hiring, you're growing your database, you're growing your talent pool, then are you worthy of working for? So become an employer of choice.
Absolutely.
Make sure you've got a positive company culture, that you've got a mission, that you've got systems in place, and that it's easy for people to come in to really jump into and embrace the culture and the mission and what you're doing. And so Poshmark CEO says, focusing on your core values maintains that a company will find people who are symbiotic and synergistic
Absolutely.
with your mission.
I love it. The next one is to provide consistent communication. Some companies issue an automatic reply to every job applicant. More than 40% of recruiters don't even respond at all.
Ooh.
Right? If a candidate proved to be unsuitable for a particular role but has showed some promise, keep the channel of communication open with some
because there might be a more fitting job down the line. Just because this one didn't pan out this time, let's not burn the bridge if we keep the lines of communication open. And even if it's not going well, I think communication is always, when we're talking about building relationships professionally or personally, communication always comes. And the number one way to just kill the mojo is to stop communicating, not respond.
Absolutely.
Right. Because then we're all left to figure it out on our own, and we're going to guess, and we're always going to guess the worst case scenario. Right. So just talk to me. 101. Just tell me. Yeah. Just tell me if I'm not, and stop leaving me hanging. Leverage your current employees. We already talked about referrals, right? Your current employees are cool or a great resource.
Talent attracts talent. If you've got an employee who's in your spot, and you want somebody similar to their qualities, go to their friends.
And then headhunters and recruiters, right?
Oh, yeah.
For really hard to fill positions, they say headhunters, recruiters, and employee placement firms are the way forward. Have you ever been headhunted or recruited or worked for a talent firm?
I was headhunted once. Yeah. Yeah. And it's nice to be noticed, right? Where people are looking at you and saying, yeah, gosh, I would love to have you for this particular thing. But aside from that, no.
So I worked for a temp agency, at one point. And
headhunters are us.
Right. And it was actually pretty awesome at the time. My kids were little, and I didn't need a permanent something. I just, kind of filler here and there.
Yeah.
And, it was, you would show up and they would put you in a position, and it was a great way to kind of try on a company. And because you're only there, a couple hours, couple of days, a couple weeks. And then that's actually how I ended up working for the PGA, the Golfers Association. So I was originally hired as a temp. They just needed somebody to fill in from 10 to 2 for this short window of time. Right. And then they ended up hiring me permanently. But before that, it was, I thought if you're kind of in a space of trying to figure out, who do you want to be when you grow up? Or what are my options that are out there? Yeah. Because there's so many. And of course, you don't know what you don't know. And I just thought the temp agency was a great, just a great filler.
So these are the points of how to find great talent for your company. But you may be at that place where you're just not sure you want to go out and yet get somebody on the payroll on a regular basis. And for that reason, there are some great outsource opportunities as well.
There are.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you, instead of going out and getting an accountant for your business, why don't you hire an outsourced accountant or a CFO? You don't have to pay the full price. They're okay as they come and go. They can do their thing in 15 minutes to the hour.
True.
And basically.
True, right. You don't have to take them under your umbrella.
Right.
Making sure that you are, taking care of benefits and office space and all that. Right. Yeah. And outsourcing is a great one.
Marketing is another one that can be outsourced.
Right. Especially, in those early days where you just might need a project here or there. You don't necessarily need somebody full time and permanent. It can be a gap filler. And so there are lots of great options. And there are some certain industries when you think about as you're growing your business, and in the beginning, you're wearing all the hats, or you're wearing multiple hats, and maybe you're doing bookkeeping and graphic design and sales and operations and customer service, right? And marketing, you're doing it all. And so the goal really is to is to build up your business, get enough clients in so that you can fire yourself, take off one of those hats and put it on somebody else. Then you're going to create this more sustainable growing business model. So if you are wearing multiple hats, how many clients would it take? How big does your business have to be in order for you to fire yourself from wearing that hat and put it on somebody else?
That's a number worth looking into. All right, folks, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, more positive business talks, which you've come to expect here at the Experience Pros Radio Show. If you like the archives of this broadcast or any of the other broadcasts that we do here on the program, don't hesitate to check out experiencepros.com. Click on the radio tab, and there they are. Back after this.
You're listening to the Experience Pros Radio Show.